So it is December 4. That means we are effectively 22, 23 sleeps away from the madness that is Tolmer Speedway, Bordertown. It's the second round of the BRANDT Sprint Car Speedweek. Lauren Nelson, you can be honest with me. Are you ready?
Born ready is the joke we just made before this. Ready for this, excited is a word. We believe we've covered everything to the best of our ability for our first event, and we know the track is where we want it, and the facilities are what they are.
Okay. So what we do know that in any true race fan, what they most want is the track to be awesome, the actual surface, right? And we saw that at that practice session that you guys had, where we had several of the leading drivers come in and lay down some epic laps. Well, I think Veely and Marcus were in the 180 km/h plus range. Speed isn't everything. It's going to be side by side stuff that I know that Snow wants. The track, the lights, the fence, the infrastructure, the infield, all that stuff is exactly where we need it to be. It's now working on the management of people, spectators, their expectations, facilities, all that stuff. It's the next focus for you at the moment, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And whilst you won't see me on a grader or a water truck, I think everyone can attest to, and what you just spoke to is that what we've done so far, we've done magnificently. And we hope to deliver that through the rest of our facility. And that is going to take time. So if we can get through the 27th, and deliver some epic racing, you will see our facilities flow through with that. And I guess we just ask for kindness and patience. We are 100% community run. We all have full-time jobs, careers, and we are just a couple of people that have got our heads together that have given this a fair crack. So come for the racing, enjoy the racing, support us, get around us, provide us any feedback that's valid, and we will keep delivering to you, we promise.
And I think that's all that we can say at the moment is manage your expectations of not the spectacle, but just the facilities at this point and the fan experience. Or if you base that purely on the racing, you're going to go, wow, I think this is going to be truly amazing. And I think we're going to have some phenomenal car counts because everyone's just so epically, excited to race there. That bit we get. Traffic management and things like that, Lauren, is super critical. I know you're working with the council and with the traffic management group because the track, if you've not been there, is literally on the highway. You could throw a tennis ball from the back straight or the front straight, depending on which way you perceive it, onto the highway.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. So whilst we've endeavoured to have as much car parking as possible, we've had to say no camping in the car park so that we can manage everyone's experience as best we can. Moving forward, that may change, but for the 27th, particularly with the numbers we're expecting to get, we've had to say no camping on site. There
Yep.
is, however, camping off site, and there's still a lot of spots available. We have these up on our website now. They're also on our Facebook page. And if that fills up, we're working with council to open up even more. We're hoping to run some minibuses from the camping that's out of town so that the parking is a lot easier to manage and the whole experience is as best as it can be with what we've got.
So the geography for those that are not familiar with where Bordertown is, it's effectively from if you were to leave the Tail and Bend Dragway at the Bend, it's about an hour and 40, hour and 45 minutes. So there is surrounding townships. I mean, those areas are already selling out in those areas from accommodation point of view as well. But when you leave Bordertown to head towards Mount Gambier, if you're following the series, Narracourt is an hour away with a lot of its own accommodation, and Mount Gambier is effectively 2 hours. And the thing that we're working really hard on, Lauren, with all this, with the BRANDT Sprint Car Speedweek, is that we're finishing or starting the A main on track by 9:30. Our plan is to get you onto the next venue or into your accommodation early as we can, so people can drive onto Mount Gambier if they want to, accommodation wise, if they can't camp.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some pretty cool towns between Bordertown and Mount Gambier. There's Narracourt, there's like Narracourt Caves. There's a wine region for people like me that like to indulge. There's a cool little town called Penola. There's accommodation there as well. And even around Bordertown, we've got Mundalla, which is where we're offering camping, and that's a beautiful little historic town.
Yep.
And there's also a caravan park at Padthaway. So yeah, there's plenty to do around the region.
Now, on the Facebook page, on this page, you're watching this right now, on the Tolmer page, there is a link to where you can find a lot of these things that you're talking about. What we want to tell people is do not park on the highway,
Yeah.
because that area is a complete no. We got B doubles, semi trailers, heavy traffic, all that sort of stuff going through that highway, the Duke's Highway. Parking on the side there and going, oh, I'll just park here and step over the fence. It's just an absolute no-no from a public safety point of view, not just for the person in the car getting out of the car, but for all the transport going through.
Yeah, and the track can only be accessed from inside of town. So we will have event maps, track maps, parking maps. There'll be all of that information available really soon. We're working really hard to make sure we can deliver as much information as possible so everyone's quite clear on where to go. But if you park on the highway, you will not have access to the track. So come into town.
So, and as you're coming from the Adelaide side, you basically get in and you'll be able to follow an exit that gets you off to the right, then you go into town, then you go underneath the overpass into that area there. So to that end, the way that you'll do that is you'll drive to the street party. Now, there is a street party happening, Lauren, as well, which is designed for people to have a bit more time in that area of Border Town itself, but also to experience more of the food and the coffee and all that sort of stuff before you go into the Speedway.
Yep, you say coffee, I say wine.
Same,
So
same.
yeah. So yeah, we understand Bordertown's obviously quite a small town with distance between other towns as well. So unlike going to Warrnambool where there's a beautiful beach and it's a much bigger spread,
Yep.
we are working with our local council to make sure that there's some offerings for people to look at, some things to do, also understanding the hype around our track and knowing that people want to get there to get a good seat and viewing. So we've put together a bit of a street party. There'll be a local car displays. There'll be some local stalls, food vendors. We'll be doing live crosses with the local radio station. And that'll hopefully fill in some time before the pit party. And just give you something to look at. Also, we're going to open the local pool up. So
Yeah.
if it's a belting hot day, which out in Bordertown most likely could be,
Yep.
the local pool will be open. So we're just trying to provide as much as possible to do. Are we going to get all of this right? Probably not, but we're at least trying to offer something for you all to experience so that when we do get to our 2 day shows in the future, we can absolutely smash it.
Yeah, and look, I think this is also a bit of a preemptive event for us as well with the 29th, that's rolling up as well, which is basically the Wednesday after the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, and I think on the Tuesday is Portland as well. So it's a bit of a follow through to run a couple of major events in that week after the Classic, which lead on to the Australian Sprint Car Championship at Murray Bridge. So it's really nirvana for everybody. 2 weeks, you're right in the middle of two significant weeks, BRANDT Sprint Car Speedweek, and then that classic to the Australian Championship week. So I think the hub of that is cool for Tolmer with a lot of great cars. We're learning more and more. This team of yours is learning more and more about how to put on events. And the only way you'll learn that is to put them on.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have an office. We are all from our mobile phones, dodging between work and play. So yeah, I feel like we have a lot of subject experts, but we haven't all done an actual big racing event. So yeah, it's exciting times for everyone.
The Velo lighting is phenomenal. That's one thing that was super, super exciting. Grandstand is what everyone's talking about, seating and viewing. Where are we at with that?
Yep. So we obviously had a membership drive for those that know, and that was to guarantee our members a good experience for their first for our first race. So they will get priority to the minimum grandstand seating that we have, and they'll have priority access to the venue. As far as viewing goes, there will be plenty of viewing. We've opened up most of the track perimeter for viewing. However, I can promise you it's not going to be perfect, and that is what it is. For those that got to go to Velo, we know how epic that was just to be there and get to watch that, and the vibe, the excitement, the hype was just phenomenal. This race, I hope, will be as exciting as Velo. We just don't have grandstands for everyone yet, but that is our priority
Yeah,
after
for
this.
sure. Now you are capping seating as well, like attendance, which I think is responsible. It's not the best financial aspect. It's better like you just let everybody in and take the money. But I think right from the start, both you and Wayne and your committee have said we need to just make sure this is not people flowing out of the gates trying to get in to try and find the place. So you need to purchase your tickets online first, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we are very focused on the track experience, but also the guest experience, which is my background professionally. So yeah, we don't want to just open it up as a free for all because we want to be able to make sure that the people that do come have a good experience as best as we can possibly manage it.
Yeah, absolutely. So currently we'll put that link. It's already on the page. It's also on the Speedweek .net.au page as well for the BRANDT Sprint Car Speedweek. You can literally just click on the icon and get your tickets there. So there's a number of ways that you can do that. Obviously, everyone's going to want information. They're going to want to get you on the phone or on the spot. How do we, where do we, what do we? Those things are going to be situations that are just going to come up as they come up. I think no matter how much you're prepared, Lauren and your team is prepared, there's still going to be things you go, wow, I didn't actually think about that until you've experienced it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, we're going to deliver as much information as possible. We do have track maps ready, but again, I don't want to put them out too soon
Yeah.
in case we have any moving parts. But yeah, we are prepared to deliver as much information as possible. And we are working, there's a few people in our committee that are very, very well versed on events. So we're working with them and getting feedback and yeah.
Yeah. I think we're all excited. We know that there's going to be a lot of expectation and a lot of everyone expecting it to be up here when it comes to a lot of different things. The reality is that there's been a huge effort go into this. Yeah, ideally we would start next season and do all this and have plenty of time to, but the reality is there's been a lot of people invest a lot of time towards this start at this point, including all the business houses in the community that have contributed, the SA government, local government. Everyone wants to see this event up and running and this facility up and running. So you've kind of got to get started to get started.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We have to make a start, and this is our start. And yeah, let's do it.
Okay, this weekend, elephant in the room is that the word that rhymes with Wayne,
Yeah,
rain, eh?
the weather,
Um,
whilst it is stinking hot, has also delivered a lot of rain. And for those that know racing and know when you're building something and you're working with clay, when clay gets wet, clay gets muddy. Um, and because the tracks and the grounds, probably more specifically, are quite infant in settling in, the rain that we've had this week's been pretty impactful to that. And again, I sort of go back to what I spoke to before is that we want to deliver an experience that's positive. And there's a possibility that we may pull Friday. We're just working through that at the moment. I'm waiting for the Wayne man to make that decision.
yep.
And yeah, we would rather do it and do it properly than try and do it and the experience is poor. So
You
we
only
want to
get
be,
one chance at a first meeting, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So keep an eye on the Tolmer Facebook page in the next
yes,
24 to 48 hours for all of that. Please share this video wherever you can so people can try and manage their expectation. We want you to be excited. I don't think anyone wants to go, whoa, 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 don't get excited because that's not the point. We're pumped, but there's a lot of things that we still need to put into place well after December 27 in time for hopefully January 29 as well. But there is a lot of things still to go.
absolutely. And thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, the response has been amazing. Thanks to Highline Magazine as well for putting out their story that they did online today as well. And so many people have been, very positive about where we're at and what we're up to. And the other team, the other venues too in the BRANDT Sprint Car Speedweek group have been massively supportive of you, haven't they?
Yes, thank you. I wanted to speak to that. Yeah, the all the other venues have just been super helpful. Mount Gambier, we just owe so much to just support, knowledge, intel. Yeah, thank
Vehicles. Yep. Yeah.
you. Yeah,
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 there's so much going on for sure. We'll talk again very shortly. Keep your eye on the socials about this Friday night as to whether it can happen or it can't. Get
yeah,
your tickets online now for BRANDT Sprint Car Speed Week round two on the 27th. The links will be all in the comments and also in this structure as well. Good luck, Lauren. Welcome to Sprint Car Racing.
Thanks, everyone.
Should be fun. I cannot wait. It's going to be so good. Round two of the BRANDT Sprint Car Speed Week at Tolmer Speedway in Bordertown. And start looking at your accommodation options now, whether that be on the Mount Gambier side, out that way towards Narracourt or Panola or any of those regions. There's plenty of great places to stay. Coffee and wine to drink as well. I mentioned wine for you, Lauren.